Hey guys, it's Destinygundum, and today we're going to be taking a very cool look at this really awesome robot Tamashii that I picked up. Now, this is one I've wanted for quite a while, but I've really been hesitant about pulling the gun on it because it's one of those weird robot Tamashis where it's just like, I don't know if it's like, really cool or like really all that great. I mean, like, the series was good, but like, we'll see how it runs. But actually I saw it was a good deal and I just figured, okay, I'll go for it. So, today we're going to be taking a very cool look at Tamashii Tauburn from the anime Star Driver, The Radiance of Takuto. Alright, quick thing about the anime really quick. Don't want to really get into too many spoilers, but I guess I'll throw in this one thing. Star Driver is a really interesting anime in the sense that it's something that you totally don't expect, like, to happen. I guess it's a really weird take on the mecha genre, and it's sort of it's very entertaining to watch, and I really liked watching it, especially because it has such a weird like sort of story, the way they summon the robots and like the whole Ginga Bishonen thing, and then like also like there's a lot of really good character development and drama in the story itself, which makes it a great story to watch, and also the music's pretty catchy. So yeah, so that's quick thing on Star Driver. Definitely check it out. But today we're just going to be focusing on the main they're called side bodies in the anime. They're not really mechs, they're just sort of giant statues that kind of come alive when there's like this occurrence called zero time. And zero time occurs when you know what, it's kind of weird how it just occurs. It's just I guess that's when they like when there's like another group that he's like, this is the only good guy side body, the rest of them are all like bad guys, I guess. I don't know. Their emotions are kind of unclear, but or their motivation. But yeah, and basically when they activate one of their side bodies, zero time starts up, and then everything in the real world stops, and everyone who has like this special mark gets transported over to the zero time world, and then that's when they start fighting. And it's really amazing because the fight scenes are really cool, and they're really like what's the word? I don't want to say choreographed. I guess they are well choreographed. Also, the soundtrack is pretty good on them. So that's enough rambling for me. That's basically just a quick backstory. We're going to be checking out the box really quick. What's really cool about the box is it's not your average normal robot Tamashii box in the sense that it's really huge. It's really thin and it's really huge. You got some nice pictures of Tauburn over there. I think that says Ginga Bishonen. Tauburn. Yeah. Some really nice pictures of it right here, and just your standard robot Tamashii sort of layout for the packaging. So that's that. I'll just throw this in the back right there. And finally, let's take a good look at the figure. Oh boy. So when I got this in my hands, I was just overjoyed because it felt so good. Like it's just one of those moments where when you take it out of the box and you just start messing with it, it feels so right. Like it's such a right figure. It's pretty tall. I want to say definitely taller than your average Gundam, so over 5 or 6 inches. So it's pretty big on that front. I want to say around like 7 or 8. I never got to mention it or forgot to measure it, but it's definitely very tall, very lanky. It can stand on its own, but you gotta just kind of fiddle along with the legs. Like the design itself, as you can see, is very original. Let me go ahead and take off this back section really quick. So it's supposed to be based off of like the Renaissance era sort of costumes with the whole big hats and the little things on their chests, and like the hair, the crazy sort of swirly bit, that the feathers that they have, and the bodies in a sense very much do remind me of that Renaissance sort of feel with all the pointy toes, and just it's so well sculpted. I just really love how this figure feels like. So obviously for paint apps you get this really nice metallic pearl red and this nice clear blue, some nice gold. Everything's metallic, by the way, which is really interesting. So is the pearl white, which is why it's reflecting so much, which is really nice. And then this clear feather is just sort of just clear rubbery plastic. And then of course you get some gunmetal gray for all the gray parts in the back. So there's the colors. Let's go ahead and go into articulation. So for articulation, the head actually has 2 joints, one at the neck and one at the actual head. So you do get a lot of motion front and back, pretty much anywhere you want to go. The feather can rotate 360. the arms are what make this figure really well articulated. Just basically articulation is just top notch. But the arms, there's ball joints in this section right here, so that white part, and then there is a angled hinge joint which allows it to move all the way up like that, rotate 360 at that hinge, and also at the base of the shoulder. And then also there is a 90-degree bend at the elbow, but because the way the elbow is designed and how this section kind of cuts into this section, it goes pretty close to 180, and you get this really nice bend, which is really amazing. And then the hands, this was a kind of a weird thing where the hands have ball joints and hinges. The ball joints at the base, but the hinge is all the way up here at the actual wrist. I'm not sure how to say it, but it does look kind of awkward sometimes. I think it only works for the expressive hands because that's where things get kind of crazy. But yeah, and then the torso, there is a joint right here which basically lets it move all the way up like that, so it's pretty free over there. And also the what's this, abdomen section, I guess, or yeah, the legs, I guess. Okay, so the thighs go all the way up. There's nothing really restricting them. Even the design itself allows it to just do straight up 180. And then so basically goes front and back, and then goes out pretty much 180. More than 90-degree bend, just like the arm, how I explained how this design is that it cuts into each other, so it's almost like they're made to go together. And that's what's really amazing about this. The foot or the ankle is just on a hinge joint that rotates as well, so you can't really get a nice ankle tilt out of that because it's not a ball joint, so you do have some trouble when it comes to putting it in some really weird poses. But so there's the articulation for him. Yeah, let me just fix it really quick. There you go. And then basically this back section is interesting because when I pulled it out of the box, it's actually such an old robot Tamashii that actually it's 2011, so it's 5 years old, but it was so old that that when I put, this is supposed to be clear, but when I put it into the peg in the back, it actually snapped and it just started disintegrating in my hands, and I just was really freaked out, and I was just like, oh, whatever, I'll just glue a new joint onto it. So I took a joint from one of the Baldwin arms from the Gundam Build Fighters sort of upgrade kits, and then I just glued that on there, and it already fit into the pre-existing hole right there, so now I just, there you go, and it's all good. But yeah, in my opinion, though, these bits do sit kind of far back. I think it's designed like that. Even though I added this joint in here, I didn't really move it back all too much, so it's already supposed to be about pretty far back. I still need to thicken up that joint so it doesn't flop everywhere. But these are really cool. These are like funnels, and basically they are all on ball joints, and there's on this clear sort of spider leg looking thing, and they're really cool. Okay, this is kind of weird, but I didn't notice this until I saw these on their own. All the red is all faded, so I'm pretty sure that's a QC issue, unless they're going for some sort of shading thing, because that is apparent all over the body. Like a lot of portions, it almost seems like they forgot to add on an extra layer of the chrome red, or I think it's supposed to be pink. I'm not sure, because it's kind of a weird situation where some of it shows up and then some of it doesn't. So maybe that's just to add to the whole alien looking aspect of this thing, but it definitely did catch me off guard, I guess, because it was kind of a weird thing that was going on. But yeah, there's that. So there is his articulation. So let's put him back here. Let's go over accessories. So you can't have Tauburn without his classic star swords. So the star swords in Star Driver. These star swords are really interesting. They're just really thin. I was kind of, when I broke the clear piece in the back, I was afraid that I was gonna break these, and I was like, oh shoot. So but actually they're pretty sturdy. Pretty cool. So basically they're just the same piece, just in green and blue. And this is the Star Sword Emerald, and this is Saphir, and they just fit right into his hands. He's got these nice holding hands that hold them at an angle, and it allows him to do plenty of fun poses with his dual wielding star swords. And yeah, and the articulation definitely does help with the whole posability of the figure, and it looks amazing. Just, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to mess around with it, and then you'll grow like a greater appreciation for it. It's like yeah, it's like a third-party transformer or something, just going that far. But just the way it moves is so fun to just visually and physically. So there's his star swords. And of course, I got his other accessories in a bag because there are quite a bit of other accessories. Just kidding. There's the instructions. You need instructions just to make sure you got all the stuff. He does come with a stand. Now this stand is interesting because it's just a star and an arm, and it's red. So kind of a weird ruby obnoxious red sort of thing. But it's pretty alright. I kind of wish it was more apparent that it wasn't there, because it is pretty eye-catching, and I feel like it does take away from the figure itself, but it does help the figure stand tremendously, which is helpful for some of those crazier poses that you're looking for. So there's that. So there's the stand, and then it does come with this weird adapter piece. I'm not 100% sure what the adapter does. I think, or the adapter is just basically so you don't put it directly up in there. It could be from the back. So there's that. And the best part about this thing is the hands. Now I love these hands. These hands were basically what caught me in the first place. Now, so for hands you get these beautiful expressive hands. These things are awesome because look how small they are. They're all made out of rubber, by the way, so a little wacky, but cool. Anyways, that's a great move on Bandai's part. They all have the joint at the hinge at the wrist, so it does that. I'll switch these hands out because I love these hands. So basically, they're open expressive hands, and they just add so much more expression to the whole thing. Like there he is with the right and the left open expressive hand, and look at that. Man, he looks like he's reading poetry or something. But it's really cool. I loved it. That's one of the winners of this kit. So there's the open expressive hands. You also get these relaxed hands, which are just kind of like the same thing, just relaxed, which is very nice. All the hands have great paint apps. They no paint bleeding whatsoever on the hands. And then a pair of closed fists for when you're punching through stuff. But yeah, so there's that. Also, I forgot to mention, these expressive hands are actually for the purpose of him doing one of his like special moves. It's like he has like this missile. It's not really a missile, it's just he kind of shoots the pilot out of there. The pilot of this suit is Takuto, which is the main character, and basically because of this great articulation, it's really easy to get him into the pose where he just prepares the missile and then pew, it just shoots right out. So yeah, there's that. So that's pretty much it for this review. I mean, I really dig this robot Tamashii. I really wish they made more of them because the designs from Star Driver are just really amazing. I'm really tempted just to make resin casts of this whole thing and then make a whole bunch of them and then start modding them so they become the other side bodies, because all the other side bodies, or all the side bodies in general, they all share the same frame, which is this sort of section and these arm sections, and basically all of them just have different armor. So one of them has like boxing gloves that turn into like claws, and then one of them, which is the main antagonist like side body, his is basically the same thing as this one, except it's blue, like the color scheme is blue, and there's some edgier points, and the head is much more different, and there's a really big feather sort of thing, almost like a Trojan helmet. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really recommend, I really recommend going out, or no, not really going out, but just maybe going to a computer, watching at least the first 5 episodes of Star Driver. I know that's a lot to ask considering that most animes are already around like 13 episodes nowadays, but Star Driver is definitely a hidden gem, and I loved every minute of it. And upon getting this figure, it brought me back instantly to like last year, summer, when I first started watching it. And yeah, so this guy will definitely stay in my collection probably forever, because that's how much I love this thing. But that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more, because it may or may not be coming.